Oh, I heard radio ads in the Twin Cities market for a couple of years about LearningRx, and my skeptical brain said, "What are they talking about? The root cause?" And I kind of dismissed it. And then I was looking for some part-time work and thought, "Well, I'll just check this out." So I looked at the website, called, and I was able to come and watch trainers. And I thought, oh my goodness, how does anybody work in this kind of environment? There's so much going on, so many metronomes, so many people talking. It was so antithetical to any way that I had been taught to study and to learn. I was used to quiet. But then the trainer explained the reason for distractions and the mental activities. And then I was very intrigued. And so I interviewed for the position and started training and loved it. I worked part-time here because I was working a full-time job. And I really needed to know that the progress that I had heard that students could make really happened with my own students. And it did. I was amazed at one, how much even an elementary school student could be cynical and could be resisting and sad, and then how LearningRx could turn that around for them. And as I talk about it with other people, I say we have to believe in them until they can start believing in themselves. And I certainly faced that, but then it was, as so many trainers can tell you, it's so heartwarming and bittersweet at the end, because you become so fond of students and you wish them well, but you miss them when they go off into the world. So that was absolutely convincing. And I could see that this was really stimulating for me to be able to stay ahead of the students as they responded, and especially those who advanced quickly. I thought, okay, I have to be quick too. So I love that. What I found is that it was, just so efficient. The intimacy was still there. One didn't have to wait for anybody to turn pages. The students became quite independent as they figured out, okay, if I don't have a laptop, is my tablet working? No, not so much. Just all of those equipment things, and being at first a little bit for the younger ones dependent on their parents, but then becoming savvier about that. It also, I had a student in her 40s who just wanted to make some shifts in her life, and so she wanted to sharpen her skills. So her work in people's homes was not available during COVID, so she had an opportunity to do exactly what she wanted to do, refine her skills, and it was great to see her improvement in self-esteem and her excitement and her readiness to take on the world when she finished her program, and the world opened up a little bit more for her. Before we came back to the center, I had a very young student, a first grader, start remotely, and I thought, oh, this is not going to work. She's sitting on her mother's lap, and this is, she's really not wanting to be involved. But that was only for a couple of weeks. Then she came into the center and she thought, oh, this is like school. So what we did is have 2 sessions a week in the center, and she just shifted gears to, all right, I've got this. I know what this environment is like, and established that separate relationship with me. But we continued to have 1 session remotely, which became a really great opportunity for flexibility. And she became so competent with that her very last session was done in the car with for an hour and a half. So she did Brain Lab remotely and her session, but they were on a long car trip, a 9-hour car trip. And they said, can we just do this last session remotely? And she was totally focused, a completely different child. And I thought, wow, how great is that people can go on a trip and their child can have LearningRx even in the car. Here's one thing. I was sharing with somebody who had not heard about LearningRx, somebody in a networking group. So he did research before we met, and here's what he said. He said, as I was reading about what LearningRx has to offer, he said, I was getting a little bit angry And I said, what? And he said, because this is such a huge opportunity for people. And he said, why is it not more readily available? And why is it not offered to more? And he said, because it just could just make such a huge difference. And we know it does. So whatever we can do to increase that accessibility, we have those tools in place, and